All right. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, evening, wherever you're calling from. This is Ginni Saini, and I'm the product manager for HCL Sametime, and really happy to be here. Thanks to all the RNUG team who has put this together, this virtual conference, and really excited to be talking about HCL Sametime Premium, our latest release. We released this on November 10th and launched it as a part of our Digital Week 2020. Hopefully some of you did attend that as well. There are recordings available of that too in case folks are interested. But again, this is really exciting stuff and happy to take you through what HCL Sametime Premium is all about. So with that, let's jump in. All right, so before I start talking about Sametime Premium, what is Sametime? It's all about your meeting, owning your meeting, your data ownership, and the value that you get out of it, the cost piece that I'll be talking about later in the slides as well. So again, this goes back to obviously the whole work from anywhere environment. Everybody's in these days, right? It's all about that meetings, chat, and the whole collaboration that we are bringing it to you. Let's do a little reality check. Obviously, nothing new here. We are all living in 2020. The world has changed, right? I mean, if I, think about when we decided to develop, brand new Sametime meetings, that was back in December of last year when we released our Sametime 11 chat, which has got all the persistent chat in it, where you can see all your chat history from all the devices. We kind of reimagined chat with our V11 release, right? And right as we were releasing that, we were already planning our next meetings release. And guess what? In February, March timeframe, the world did change and everybody started to use meetings, requiring meetings. So that's kind of become our focus when I talk about Sametime Premium, right? I mean, we were developing this product right as everybody was in the middle of 2020 pandemic here. Nothing new here, right? So we all loved our offices, right? We all loved going into offices. We went into our offices, collaborated in a conference room. How many of you even remember this anymore, right? And now this is what it looks like, right? So again, our focus for Sametime becomes how do we take you from this to this, but still give you that same experience that you need for your collaboration. All right, so again, everybody can relate to this picture, right? We are all, I mean, some of you are probably doing it right now, right? We are all working in our living rooms, our kitchens, our bedrooms, doing our work, everyday work, all through online meetings. And this is what the collaboration looks like, right? There is no more travel happening, there is no more in-person meetings happening. So that's what we need to collaborate, and that's our focus for Sametime, right? How do I give you that simplicity? Okay, so before I jump into, what Sametime Premium is about, these are the three things I want everybody to kind of, think about what was top of our mind when we started developing Sametime and getting into the work from, home environment. What were the main focus areas? And by the way, these areas, they were not only, they weren't really anything new, but what came into spotlight was what were the requirements, what were the needs of, every organization as it comes to online meetings, since everybody had to suddenly use it, right, for every employee. So number one right there you see is data privacy. Sametime is an on-prem product, it's cloud native. And we'll talk about that options too in a few minutes here. You can deploy it on-prem, all your data stays with you, right? I mean, we started, starting March, customers started coming to us saying, well, we can't use this other solution because our data is getting harvested. So again, that is our number one, highlight for this Sametime release as well. It's all the data privacy, whether you deploy on-prem, whether you deploy in your private cloud, or even if you choose our, cloud-hosted MSPs. High costs. So again, something that came into spotlight with the whole remote work environment as well, right? For some organizations, they were used to using online meetings, right? But a lot of them, didn't have the need to use it as much. And then suddenly each and every employee in the organization needed web meetings, right, to get their work done. It was mandatory now, right? It was not an option anymore. And with that, guess what? It's the high costs, right? It's each and every license, right, that the need for meetings, for chat, there's high cost associated with it. So that was something, we're bringing to the market with Premium, keeping in mind that it's a very cost-effective solution for your collaboration needs. That gives you, what you need for everyday meetings. Complexity, right? So, honestly, including me, all of us use more than one meetings, chat, collaboration tools, right? I'm using Zoom right now here to talk to you guys. A lot of our customers, or even, myself included, right? I started kind of finding myself in, in the situation where somebody sends me a meeting link, whether it's a WebEx link or a Zoom link or any solution, right? I'll click on it. It wants me to download something. I have to wait on somebody to give me access. So all those complexities, think about all the minutes you're wasting in every meeting. If you have to wait 2 minutes for every meeting to start, or somebody lets you in, or other things, right? So we wanted to make sure we remove all that complexity with Sametime meetings and chat. All right, so with that, I guess state said, again, really happy to announce that we now have Sametime Premium out, released to the market. Few of the highlights here, what you see is, number one, pay for what you use. And this goes back to, if you're using private cloud, for example, right? If you are using, Amazon or Google Cloud and you're hosting your meetings there, you can easily find, an offering that they have, right? Where you deploy in their cloud, it's your private cloud, and you only pay for things that you use. And I'll go into deep in a minute here about that too. It's about your meetings, your data. It's all up to you, your choice, right? Where you deploy, how you use it in terms of features, in terms of deployment. And meetings with single click, right? So again, that became our focus, starting February, when everybody had to suddenly get on meetings all day long. We just wanted to give you that single click experience. And by the way, you can lock it down, obviously, too, right? It's all about options, right? I mean, I know we have meetings. I'm in meetings that are very confidential, for example, right? And you need to lock it down. You need to give access to people who need it. But for the most part, when it comes to internal collaboration, we use Sametime meetings internally all day long. And when I know it's only internal users, I don't have to lock anything down, right? I give them a link. I don't even have to be there. The meeting can be started. It can be a very fast collaboration. So it's all about options for our users. All right, so this is our tagline and our 3 vows with the Sametime Premium release. Number one, you see down there is, the tagline says it all first. It's your meeting, your data, it's double the value, right? It's a cost-effective solution. So number one, based on that, you see is, again, comes back to cost. Every person, every organization needs meetings, right? So there are organizations who never even budgeted online meetings budget, right, in their finance. They need something that is very cost effective, and that gives their employees, their users, exactly what they need to get their work done, right? So that's our focus here. It's about owning your meetings, owning your data, right? You can create an open meeting, you can create a personal meeting room. And again, we'll talk about that too pretty soon here, but it's up to the user. Owning your data, again, it's about whether you host it, in a private cloud and use it as a private cloud offering, or you use it as an on-prem. It's all up to you. It gives you the same data privacy, the same encryption, and again, the data is not being harvested, right? It's all your data. And beyond that, this kind of goes down to, I have a couple of slides to show you our roadmap, right? Honestly, it's not just about chat and meetings anymore, right? Those are the essential tools that you need to get your work done, right, every day. But it all comes down to what else that you need, right, that your employees need, whether it's, integrations with all kinds of apps. Everybody's using various apps during their day, right, to get work done. Everybody has projects to work on. So our focus is how can we provide you, quote unquote, a digital office experience, right? You saw those conference rooms that are empty now. How can I give you that experience? How can we as HCL give you that experience to convert, your employees into digital employees, with a seamless, collaborative workflow? So you'll see that in my roadmap slides too. So let's talk about pricing again, because it's, again, top of mind for every CFO, right, in an organization. With Sametime Premium, you're going to get video meetings that are substantially lower, right, when it comes to cost than any competitor solution you may be using. It's all comes down to, you get all the functionality you need with much, much lower price. And I think with that, I do have a slide later on to show you the comparison chart too. But let's get to your meetings and your data, right? It's about owning your meetings. It's about owning your data, right? Again, I can't say it enough, right? We had tons of customers coming to us saying, some solutions are not GDPR compliant. Some are harvesting their data. I mean, we've seen lots of claims out there, right, as they started coming in when the whole world went remote here. So again, our focus is it's your deployment. You decide how you want to deploy this, and it's about your meetings, the ownership of your personal and open rooms. So what's new with Sametime Premium? So this kind of chart gives you highlights. And again, there's a lot more that we're providing, right? But this kind of gives you an overview of, what Sametime Premium release is. So let's kind of deep dive into those a little bit. The core features, right? These are pretty self-explanatory. I don't even have to, call it out what exactly the core features are these days, right? It's all those video and chat features you need. Our focus is on single-click video meetings. We have persistent chat that is inbuilt in Sametime rooms. So you create a Sametime meeting room. It has an inbuilt Sametime chat in it. You start chatting. There is stuff that's shared in that meeting via chat. And guess what? Once the meeting ends, that chat comes back to your Sametime client. And you can continue the conversation from later on, right? And that's how valuable is that, right? I mean, a lot of times, some solutions, right, I'm in a chat, the meeting ends, and I'm like, oh, I didn't even save that chat, or I didn't even save that link. What was that link? And you start pinging people. So with Sametime, once the meeting ends, the chat comes automatically from the meeting back to your Sametime chat client. We also have broadcasting, right? So let me just talk about it a little bit, because I've been, hearing a lot of questions from our customers and partners about this. What we have built with Sametime Premium is kind of like a collaborative solution, right? It's online meetings for smaller teams. I'm in meetings every day where I have 50 people in Sametime meeting, works great. But it's not for, if you're talking about 200, 300, 400 people in a meeting, right? I mean, it's because it's not that it's a hard limit on the server as such. You can obviously control that. An admin can control how many max people you want in a meeting, right? So we have all those policies inbuilt, but it's more about, this is a tool for interactive meetings, right? Now, with that said, obviously event-based needs are already, there with the whole virtual conferences happening like this one, right? So we do acknowledge that you may want to reach out to thousands of people in your organization for an all-hands call, right? Or whatever that could be, your CEO town hall. We do have inbuilt live streaming integration using YouTube out of the box with Sametime Premium meeting server. So out of the box, you have a YouTube live integration. You can think of it as, maybe there's an all-hands call where 20 people need to share screen, talk, right? Talk to the whole company. They can do that, and then the moderator or the owner can live stream that meeting with the click of a button, right? There are a couple of steps that can be performed beforehand, before you start the meeting, to set up the YouTube key, and then just live stream it. And now suddenly you can have, millions of users, if you will, right? Using that YouTube live streaming channel. And you can make it private and public based on your needs as well. Mobile. So mobile app, I'm happy to announce that as well. It is live on both app stores, Apple and Google. For our 11.5 Sametime app, you gotta have to just go search for HCL Sametime on app stores. And we are adding, more and more functionality, every day with mobile. So you'll keep seeing all the updates coming from apps that are already out there. You have the full chat and meetings experience on mobile. All right, so that's kind of talking about the core features. Now, meeting room ownership is what I was getting at, when I was talking about it's an option for you, whether you want, I call it an instant room, or whether you want a personal room, right? So, and some of you may have already seen the experience with Sametime Premium, right? An instant room is, I don't have to set anything up. I just go in, type a name, and it generates a URL. I share that URL, whether it's through my calendar or through a chat, and we are suddenly in the meeting. And all those folks now using that instant room can start talking, sharing. Nobody needs to ask for any access. It's just a meeting. Anybody who has the URL can get in, right? I mean, obviously there are things like you can, block guests, for example, if you don't really want guests, you want only authenticated users. All that is done via admin policies. That can be done. But you also have personal rooms, right? And I do use personal rooms for most of my meetings, in the sense that, I can claim that room, it's my room. I go to a server, create that room, and now nobody can use that name, right? Because it's mine, I've used it. So that becomes my personal room. I can add password to it, I can lock it, I can assign presenters and moderators, unlike instant room, where everybody is sort of a presenter and a moderator, right? But for personal rooms, obviously there is a need for specific meetings where you do want to control things just to owner and moderator level. All those controls are inbuilt in personal rooms. You can make it a moderated meeting where, only the owner is the moderator, right? And you can assign moderators and presenters. So it's all about options, right? What do you need? I mean, maybe you need both, and you can create a personal room for one set of meetings, and you can create as many instant rooms for, any other meetings that you need to have internally. Meeting controls, all these are inbuilt already. Presenter controls, there are, for example, owner can stop all videos if people are sharing videos and they weren't supposed to. Blur backgrounds is already there, and we are looking at, adding obviously more backgrounds too later on. Mute all participants, all those controls, the moderator controls that you need are already inbuilt, right? Passcodes, lock meeting, all that's there. Designated moderators and presenters. One thing you see here is chat as an app. So that's our web chat. And this is, my favorite. That's what I use on my, on my desktop here, the progressive web app, right? If you guys are familiar with, a lot of you are probably familiar with PWAs. It's really the cutting edge technology for desktop apps, right? PWAs were designed for mobile initially, and, the technology is coming to desktops now. And that's what we have released with Sametime Premium. We have released our web chat as a PWA, where it's a super fast application for the web. You can dock it on your desktop for the desktop, and you can dock it on the desktop, and that becomes your chat client, right? If you don't want to use browser, you don't have to. Using browser, you can install this app, and that's your Sametime chat client. It's both for Windows and Mac. So that's a really cool feature for Sametime Premium as well. Okay, let me talk about, the deployment piece. Again, it all goes down to it's your deployment, right? The tagline you saw, it's your meeting, your data, which means it's your deployment. It's your choice. You choose, right? You have options. So what you see here is, a couple of things, right? One is obviously the cloud deployment, right? It's Sametime Premium is fully cloud native. You can deploy it if you have a managed Kubernetes, environment that you are using, whether it's Amazon. You see on the right-hand side, right, what we officially support. And on the bottom, you also see what's coming soon, right, where we haven't claimed the support yet. We are, undergoing testing on all these platforms at the bottom, and they will be added soon. But what's officially supported right now is everything at the top, right? Whether you're using Amazon or, Google Cloud, it's your choice to deploy Sametime. And honestly, and I think I have a slide too, where we are publishing white papers, kind of like a step-by-step guide. like if you're brand new to this technology, to the Docker Kubernetes technology that is needed for same-time meetings piece, what do you do? What is that step one? Where do you even go to get that AWS instance, right? So there is a white paper already out there for AWS. Google is in the works, but that's where you'll get all your questions answered, right? And the beauty of cloud deployment is, it can auto scale, right? Once you have it, it can auto scale. If you have meetings that are happening, at 9 a.m. in the morning, there are more meetings happening, more recordings happening in the meeting. It'll automatically add servers or, all the infrastructure that it needs to your deployment. And again, you only pay for what you use, right? That's, again, another beauty of the cloud, private cloud deployment here. And by the way, I did add it here. Let's not forget about our cloud hosted MSPs, right? They are going to host it as well. Because for some customers, honestly, that's what their preference is, right? They want to go through a service provider who can host meetings for them. And that's where our CHMSPs come in as well. So definitely check them out as well if you're looking for a hosted solution. Now, on-prem deployment, again, it's something that you would control. You will have all the hardware, and things like, keep in mind, right? I mean, if you're trying to decide whether, I don't know, if I want to do cloud or I want to do on-prem, I mean, there are certain things to keep in mind, right? You may be in a regulated industry where you just can't go to even a private cloud type of environment, right? So that's when, your on-prem deployment comes in. You may already have Kubernetes deployment. Kubernetes is, catching up in terms of, deployment option at various organizations, right? Maybe you already have Kubernetes clusters deployed, and that's what you can reuse for same time as well, right? That would be a perfect example of why you should consider completely on-premise deployment. I have a lot of customers who are coming to me saying, we don't even allow internet access, right? If that's the case, then definitely, yeah, that's the way to go, right? Your on-prem Kubernetes deployment, Kubernetes clusters. So again, it's all about options here. I wanted to show a little bit about, what the deployment looks like on the left, which a lot of you are probably already familiar with. It's chat, which kind of has traditionally been those components, right? If you have used same time 10, same time 11, you've seen, about community server, that's our kind of like the heart of our chat component, right? There's same time proxy, which is needed if you want web chat access, if you want mobile access. And MongoDB is the backend database, right, where all your chat history is stored, all your policies and other things get stored. And both chat and meetings use that. Now on the right is, our meetings, our brand new meetings that we have released with Sametime Premium. What I'm showing here is a Kubernetes example, right? So again, some of you may or may not be familiar with the, how the Kubernetes setup works. But what you see here, just to geek out here a little bit, a control plane that's needed. And on the bottom, you see different storage and then the worker nodes. Same time meetings needs one main worker node there, and then there's a video worker node and a recorder if you are enabling recordings for your meetings. So it kind of gives you an idea of what this architecture looks like for meetings, as well as chat on the left. Just real quick on, cloud native benefits here, right? What are the benefits if you do decide to go private cloud? Again, all the stuff that you see here, the control plane, the worker nodes are essentially the same as we saw in the last slide. But what happens here is, if I think I have some animations here too, if I can. Let's say that it's 9 a.m., right? A lot of people are coming in, logging in, a lot of meetings need to happen, right? And let's assume this is all, running in a private cloud here, right? In a Kubernetes cluster. What happens is a lot of people are, again, logging into meetings, right? At 9 a.m., people coming in. Now look what happens, right? Suddenly those meetings start, and now the server, the whole setup, knows that it needs to handle more load, which means it needs more worker nodes, and it automatically adds that. That's the beauty of, going cloud native. You don't have to assign anything manually, right? Once you set up your deployment, maybe on the minimum requirements, it can scale up or it can scale down as well, right? So you can start with minimum requirements and it can scale up. once people start coming in. And let's say people start recording, right? So that red dot you see there, that's meeting recordings, right? So there are a lot of recordings happening at 9. Guess what? Now the recorder note that says, oh, I'm running out of resources. I need to create another worker note. It automatically creates that, right? As many as it needs, once people start recording. Now let's see what happens, right? 10 o'clock, meetings are getting done. People are, getting off those meetings. Now at 10 o'clock, those recordings are stopped. It scales down automatically as well, right? So now recorder nodes know, oh, I don't need those many worker nodes because these are free. Nobody's using them. So it's gonna, take those away, right? That means you're paying for what you're using, right? You're not using these worker nodes. You're not paying, for the private cloud, and all those video nodes go away, right? So that's the beauty that you see of the cloud native environment. And again, it's up to you, right? It goes back to options that you would like. Resources available. So I did mention that before too. We already have, these are the white papers that we are publishing. In fact, the white paper for AWS, the EKS environment on the middle there, that is already out. That has been published. It's a step-by-step guide. So please go ahead and check that out. We do have Google and, just vanilla on-prem Kubernetes. If you have that environment, those are in the works, and we will be publishing those soon as well. So make sure you check these out. And it's, again, a step-by-step guide of how do you deploy Sametime in the private cloud. All right, so I hope you're ready to get started. Again, it's all about cutting your meeting costs, right? With everybody needing meetings, bringing your teams together easily, right? With that seamless experience from chat to meetings and meetings to chat. You can continue the conversations either way, right? So that's our focus here. It's about your meeting, your data, you choose at 70% less cost. There is a chart out there too. I'm happy to share later on as well. If you want to see, what is that cost that it's going to cost you compared to the other solutions, right? And please do check out our calculator as well. We already have that live. You can contact our representatives as well, and they can help you, create a savings chart for you if you're comparing it to other competitor solutions. You can download Sametime Premium today. It is now live on FlexNet for all our customers and all our partners. And other thing I would like to announce here as well is our public sandbox for Sametime meetings. Again, some of you may have seen the announcement. We are sending these announcements. We did send some last week. I know the marketing team is sending some, this week as well, announcing our Sametime Premium meeting sandbox, where you can register, host meetings, check them out. You can invite guests, kind of get the whole experience, right? There are few restrictions, things like, we have blocked chat beyond the meetings. You'll see chat within meetings, but we are not exposing our chat environment, right? Just because of security reasons, since this is a cloud type of environment. But we have our meeting sandbox now live for you to play around with. Please go and register and check us out. Now, with that, I do want to talk about what's next, right? So for Sametime, as you saw, this brand new Sametime Premium release with chat and meetings. But what I want to take you guys through is what is on top of our mind next, right? Now that this release is behind us. So what you see here is, I wanted to kind of show you the focus areas for us, right? What is that, those focus areas for Sametime when we are thinking, what's that Sametime next that we need to build? I have a lot of ideas coming through our AHA portal that we are all looking at and kind of building there's no shortage of ideas, believe me. I'm sure a lot of you have tons of ideas here as you are looking at things or trying Sametime meetings. Please feel free to add those to our AHA portal. But what I want to show you is, for now, based on your feedback, our customers, our partners, and, our internal strategy, the 4 areas that you're seeing here is, number one is the user experience, right? It comes down to everybody needs meetings all day long. How can we keep making it better, faster, right? That collaborative experience. So you're going to see a lot of enhancements coming out when it comes to Sametime chat and meetings next year as well. Integrations is a big one. I've been talking to tons of analysts here, And all we are hearing and seeing from the market, right, is that integration piece. I mean, we can't have, honestly, a chat and meeting solution that doesn't integrate with other apps, other things that, you use. I mean, chat and meetings, yes, is what everybody needs all day. But beyond that, you have tons of other tools, right? Whether it's your file sharing, whether it's some apps that you're building, it's that integration piece, right? How can I build a chat and meetings experience in every app? How can I bring apps inside chat and meetings? So that's our focus area. Cloud native, you heard me say that as well before. Obviously, we want to make it fully cloud native. And with that in mind, if some of you may have heard about Project Sophie, our software factory here that we are focusing on within HCL, we are going to host or have the ability to host Sametime on Sophie as well. And that's our focus, in terms of cloud native also. In digital office, right? I mean, again, it goes back to, what are the things that a digital employee needs beyond chat and meetings, right? So he doesn't lose track. He doesn't focus on everyday work, right? I mean, it's chat and meetings experience needs to be built in everything else we are doing, right, within our day. So that's, again, our big focus area. I do want to deep dive into some of those focus areas just to show you what's coming on the roadmap here. And again, I think I probably missed a disclaimer slide. There's a disclaimer that this is obviously subject to change, right? As we start building these things, based on priorities, based on, your feedback from AHA and other channels, stuff tends to change. So just keep that in mind. But what this chart does show you is, so let's talk about, a couple of things here you'll see, right? Project Yuzu, and I think you may have heard from Andrew Manabe and Renee about, what Project Yuzu is. It's our focus. It's our internal project name for our digital office, strategy here. So that's what Project Yuzu is about. And, same time is the focus, right? I mean, when it comes to Project Yuzu, what we are thinking is it's that experience, not necessarily connections. Connections is, something that's going to continue, but we're going to bring that connection sort of experience tidally integrated with Sametime and other things, right? Other apps, and kind of make it a digital office solution for you. So with that in mind, Sametime roadmap, what you see here, obviously we released web meetings. That was a brand new meetings for Sametime, built from scratch on the WebRTC technology, really fast single click meetings experience. Right after that, what you'll see coming from us next year, early next year, is, SDK update. We have a vast ecosystem of our business partners, our customers, who are asking for SDK updates, right? They want to build that new web chat, persistent chat experience in their apps. So we're going to release that SDK update very soon here next year. And then Cloud Native and Project Sophie kind of go hand in hand. Cloud native, since it is fully cloud native for meetings piece. Now, chat is a traditional installer, right? So we are going to look into fully containerized, fully cloud native platform for both Sametime chat and meetings. Telephony is a big one, right? So we do have, just talking about that for a minute, out of the box right now, you have dial out support for Sametime Premium, where you can, use a third-party SIP provider, create a SIP trunk from your meetings nodes, and create that dial out support, where now you are hosting a meeting and you suddenly need to get somebody else in that meeting, but he's on the phone, right? You just dial his phone through that meeting UI and it'll ring his phone and get him in the meeting, right? And we use it internally, by the way, as well. But what we don't have right now with the new meetings is a dial-in support, right? Where, again, as people start moving more and more now, you need to get on the road and you need to attend a Sametime meeting. We are looking into partnering, and you will see an announcement very soon here. We are actively working on a partnership for telephony integration. So what we'll provide is an ability for our users, our customers, to create that dial-in support from Sametime meetings. And that will be via our telephony partner that you'll see us announcing very soon. Beyond that, you see chat enhancements. There are a lot of, even though we did release the progressive web app, the brand new web chat experience, right? Definitely check that out too if you haven't. Some of you may be using, standard Sametime client, maybe Notes embedded client, but the web client experience is all built from scratch. It's a React-based client, very fast. PWA, in fact, is something that can auto update itself if you update the server. But there are other chat enhancements on my list that I'm looking at, and we will be providing all those in the next year as well, right, when it comes to chat. Lecture mode meetings. So this is something I think is really important, especially in today's world, because, it kind of goes back to what have we built with Sametime meetings now, right? Maybe it's a 50 people, 75 people in a meeting and having that collaborative experience. But a lot of times there is a need of that sort of, a listen only mode meetings, right? Yes, we do provide the ability to live stream on YouTube, but what we are looking at is how can we get you that experience without leaving Sametime meeting, right? So this is where lecture mode style comes in as well, where now maybe you have 10 users who need to present and others just need to listen in. You, with the click of a button, you make your meeting as a lecture style, and now suddenly it kind of puts you in that lecture style mode, right? A lot of users will just listen in. And things are looking good there because we, as we are already working towards the next release of those meetings, right? I'm hearing great things from the development team, how much it can scale well, right? We're talking hundreds of users. So you'll see that large meeting support coming from us as well next year. Integrations are really important. And again, it goes back to my themes I was showing you, right? That words, connections, Outlook integration. You'll hopefully see very soon Outlook plugin for Sametime meetings that will be available for anybody who needs to use. Just go into your Outlook calendar, kind of like you do with Teams. It creates an online team meeting. Now you'll have Sametime meeting, and you can use your personal room. You can choose what you like. You can choose an open instant room and just send the invite right from the calendar using Sametime meetings. Authenticated guests, right? There's, again, this has been, there've been some feedback, over the years where customers have been asking for, I want to talk to my customer, my vendor about, via chat. With meetings, you can obviously allow guests, right, if you need to, but and they can chat with you. The guests can chat with whoever is in the meeting via meeting chat, right? The chat that is integrated in the meetings, but they can't chat beyond that, right? So we are looking at that authenticated guest access for your users, where now you can quote unquote, invite them to chat with you beyond meetings. Advanced conversations, again, lots of things around, goes back to chat, meetings enhancement, certifications is another thing we're looking at. You'll see Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, that's something that we will be supporting as well on our roadmap. Now, real quick on, what Project Yuzu is and how does that fit, right? So what you saw on the up there is the Sametime roadmap, right? And our focus is we're going to continue, adding features, making Sametime feature rich, adding stuff to that roadmap, but also, kind of deliver it in a way where now you can fit all that in, Project Yuzu, our digital office offering, right? So again, there isn't really any timeline for the digital office offering I can share at this moment, but what you'll see there is beyond Sametime deliverables, Project Yuzu will also, including Sametime deliverables up there, it'll also include things like, what you see at the bottom. You'll have collaborative note-taking as a part of the digital office product, right, that we are working on. Your user profiles, you'll have a mobile client specifically for digital office, right? There's other things you see here, persistent rooms, how do you do file shares, both using perhaps connections and third-party file shares, right? I even have, I'm seeing from AHA a lot of requests around third-party file shares for both meetings and chat. There's a desktop PWA that you'll see for our digital office, our Project Yuzu strategy, Domino Vault integration for our Domino customers, right? That's important. So that's a part of our this digital office strategy as well. And other things, right? You see there's whiteboard. Notifications is a big one, right? I mean, a lot of us get tons of notifications every day. So we are working on like a, central, notification service for all our products, right? So you'll see lots of exciting stuff for digital office, and you'll see a lot of that come in the next year as well on our roadmap. And with that, I think that's it. That's my last slide. I do want to say again, please go to this AHA portal, and I'm sure everybody has tons of ideas when it comes to chat, meetings, integrations. Please keep adding them. And again, it's something that already exists. Definitely vote on that idea or create a new one if you have it. We would be happy to hear from you. And that's it. So over to you, Margarita. I think we are going to do some Q&A here. Hopefully I can answer some questions.
Yeah, Ginni, hi. So thank you for presentation. I think it's the same time as Premium is a hot topic. We deployed SI1 on the second day, I think, after general release. And I'm really excited what your team did in a so short period of time. So again, thank you and congratulations on the great product. We do hope to see more features, and we have some questions from the audience.
Sure, Vlad. Yep.
So do you plan to support, the rich video cameras so that are used in meeting rooms in near future? You know what I mean? Do
you mean the virtual backgrounds?
No, virtual backgrounds is maybe not the top priority, but sometimes when there is a big meeting room, there is some cameras like 180 degrees. So it's wide angle cameras, something that can used on meetings.
Yeah, interesting. So yeah, the short answer is yes. Now, in meetings, you can already pick your devices too, right? Whether you want to pick your camera or microphone. But I think what you're talking about is like a conference room setup, right?
Yeah.
So that is a great idea. And I don't know if it's something that's already exists out there, but I've talked about it to the team. So that certainly I'll take back as feedback, Vlad, and we will certainly look into that.
Yeah, we have a few large customers who, if we have a go and positive decision in, let's say, next year, we might get a large deployment. So next question, we have, so we internally try to move from Zoom to Sametime, but there are things in Zoom, so if we compare apples to apples,
sure.
We need to have a waiting room functionality. That's one thing. Do you have it on your roadmap?
I do have what I'm calling it as a meeting lobby. I think it's the same concept as the waiting room. Yes, it is on the roadmap. Now, there are, obviously, I'm not getting into details here, but certain things we need to consider, right? What does that mean? You need to provide a way to chat with the owner, right? Of the meeting. So yes, so it is on my roadmap, the meeting lobby.
Do we have some time frame for that? Is it a year or it's like half a year, 2 years?
I think all I can say is next year, Vlad, unfortunately, because there's tons of other items. If you can imagine, the whole large meeting support is a big item. But let me take that back. If it is important to you, how quickly can we get this? Hopefully not beyond, Q4 of next year, obviously. I mean, this could be a feature, and the team has been playing around a little bit with this. We can provide something sooner, right? I mean, maybe Q2, but it might not give you everything that you may need or that we think you need. So you may see things incrementally. Hopefully I answered a little bit of, so we can provide something sooner. It may not be fully featured in terms of what meeting lobby means. How do you get notifications if somebody's in the lobby? But you'll hopefully see things coming in incrementally.
Yeah, because people, work remotely, and a lot of companies do even board meetings in Zoom in same time. They wish to switch to same time, but they need to, some decisions maker and people who report, they just coming in, going out. And for that purpose, we need waiting room functionality. We need also Some people use it for support. So in Sametime previous versions, we do had remote control. You know,
Yep.
is it on roadmap for Sametime Premium as well?
It is, and if you go into our portal, there are a few requests for remote control, Vlad. I will tell you, you know, I mean, and you said that, right? At the same time, 9 had it, you know, and there were certain things it does do okay, but it's not, you know, we're not building like an IT help desk tool. But I still agree with you, right? There are some organizations where this is important. And by the way, when it comes to remote control, I think I didn't mention that before. It's, you know, it'll require some kind of app, right? You can't control somebody's screen where browsers are not there yet.
It's obvious.
Right, and we are working on, you know, I forgot to mention that before, the tech preview of Electron Client. You're going to see our meeting standalone app coming out early next year. I'm working on a release plan for that as well, where, you know, things like maybe you don't want to use browser for meetings for various reasons, right? You can definitely use the desktop app, and maybe that's where we'll focus on remote control as well. But it is on my list. You know, again, with all the other priorities, we just need to see what makes sense here.
I can come back, in private and discuss maybe the customer situation. And we have more. So you mentioned, I think you partially, or you actually answered about the telephony support.
Yes.
There is something that we can get now, and new Sametime telephone integrations are also coming in. So you uncover some details. So maybe it will be somebody the partner who you partner.
Correct. So right. So right now, dial-out support is already there, right? You just need a third-party SIP provider, you know, and we have documentation around that. So that's definitely supported, but we are about to announce our official telephony partner who would help you, whether it's dial-out or dial-in, right? Gives you that toll-based, toll-free numbers that you need to add to your Sametime meetings. So that is coming out. You should see an announcement in the next, hopefully, few weeks here.
Yeah, I just wanted to highlight this, and
Sure.
more things. So as I mentioned, companies now work remotely and they do board meetings. It will be great if we could have a polls and voting, and this voting is kind of whether turn into documents. So we need to know that person A voted for, you know, yes. And this polling and opinion gathering and voting on some question will be really beneficial. And let's see how it's complicated. Maybe.
Yeah, no, that's a good feedback. So something like where, you know, moderator can create a poll, right? And everybody votes and moderator can gather the responses and maybe generate a report, right? Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's, you know, and kind of talking about that, you know, it is something that is on the list here too. You know, and again, if this is really important, you know, let's make sure we, you know, folks are voting in AHA on that too. I think there is one idea that already exists. You know, what based on that, I guess kind of connected to that is where I'm hearing folks saying, well, I want a meeting report where I want to know how many people or who was in my meeting, right? So that sort of thing is, we are also looking at that, generating a meeting report. And polls would certainly fit in that, I can imagine, right?
Right, yeah.
Okay.
And we have also some requests. In all times, there was a functionality for Sametime. One of the customers, they call it Sametime channels. The idea behind is that, you know, a moderator can put some messages in like news, company news, and the rest of the employees can kind of subscribe. They can only read information, but only moderator can, like now, yeah, you and me, we are talking, and people can just watch it stream, something similar, but for the messages, you know.
So chat channels, right? The chat channel where you and I are talking back and forth and people can go and read them. Vlad,
Yeah,
is
for
that
example, it can be company news, international news, I don't know, Reuters news, wherever, but
right?
people can just subscribe according to their interest. That's
So they can join and they can leave as they need to, right?
right.
Right. Okay. Okay. I
So
mean,
there could be a different level of participation, kind of read-write access, or even assigning the roles to moderate, to like or dislike something. But I think it's hot thing. And
yeah, interesting. Okay, I'll add that to the list too. That is an interesting idea, and I can certainly see the use case, right?
and one more thing is that chatbots. Do you have idea on that?
That is on my list too. The chatbots, we used to with Sametime 9 SDK that's out there. I know a lot of our partners have built, like a bot type of integration, but it is on my list, right? So it's, again, unfortunately, I don't have a timeline on that, but bot kits is on my roadmap, yes, especially with the new Sametime SDKs, right, that we're going to release.
Yeah, it would be just awesome if we can get kind of updated roadmap so we see it, because a lot of customers they were excited about the Sametime, which is really great for the product that was done in a few years. And they even committed to deploy it for companies, but they really need to see when these features arrive. So if it arrives in 6 months from now, it's okay. They are gonna start deployment, so it will help us a lot. And one more thing, gateways, to some other messengers, because I think all of us, we do have a lot of messengers. Sometimes it's too much on our mobile devices, on our computers. Do we have plan to integrate Sametime with other messengers platform?
The answer is yes, but can I kind of brainstorm, pick your brain, Vlad, because I'm actually looking for a lot of feedback on that too, right? So a couple of things on that. When you talk about gateway, we already had Sametime 9 gateway. We didn't release any gateway, updated gateway with 11. So we're going to have to kind of redesign and, architect what this new gateway looks like, where now you can federate, right, with other third parties out there, whether it's WhatsApp or any other solutions, right? The chat solutions, as you mentioned. But so that's still being looked at. It's a huge kind of redesign effort. But before that, what I'm looking at, Vlad, is, let's say, the purpose of gateway is so I can talk to others, right? Somebody might be using a third-party solution, and I can easily talk to them. I can stay in Sametime, they can stay in where they are, right? And we can talk. What I'm looking at is, what if I give you an option, and this would be policy control, right? You can turn it on and off as an admin. I'm using, let's just take web chat. I'm using web chat, logged into my server. You are, my customer or my vendor. What you need to talk to me. And what I can give you is, here, hit my server, and you can use your Twitter ID, right? Or any IDP you have. And now suddenly you are logged into my server and chatting. I mean, is that something you think would be valuable as well?
Yeah, so
okay.
I am voting for anything that can reduce my inbox, because if I can chat with somebody, like in WhatsApp, then I can answer in time when it's suitable, even during the night. But I don't need to go to my inbox, because it's too official. If I type a message in email, I will not say, yes, it's fine, awesome. I will do something much more. It's more time consuming. So idea is to just reduce time we spent in email.
Sure. Okay. Now, so I think what I'm hoping we can deliver is a way for, a third person, right, who is third person to you, to use any IDP and log into your server, right? And obviously there are, the devil is in the details. Do they get, they are still a third party to you. Do they get access to everything? Probably not. Maybe you don't want them searching your directory and knowing who is your employee, right? So we're going to have to kind of lock some things down, but but that's certainly an area I'm focusing on to give authenticated access to your third-party users.
Yeah, and one more question from our HCL ambassador. Is there any option or plans to embed same-time components in HTML pages to make it like, if it's a web application, so people can do some advanced API stuff with the same time?
So I guess when you say, does it mean chat and meetings? Maybe you're referring to either or? Is that right?
Let me go through the question. So is there a way to embed same-time components into a web page?
So I guess I'm going to assume for both chat and meetings, right? So again, this goes back to our SDK update that we're going to refresh early next year. Once we do that, then yes, our focus is exactly what you said, right? Where now certainly partners and customers can build their applications, whether it's a portal app where you can embed same-time chat in or meetings in, or they just build some integration, right, using that. So you will see that support coming next year with our SDK updates and refreshes.
I have only one word to say. It's just, everything is just very, very cool and awesome product. So congratulations on what you did. And we really have crossed fingers to see much more. And because when we deployed same time, I think on the next day, I had 10 customers in queue to deploy it and try it on-prem on the infrastructure. So my colleagues are working hard to deploy it, and it's really, really promising. Good job.
Sounds good. Thank you, Vlad. I'm happy to hear that. Thanks for all your support as well. And on that note, I'm hoping people can use our public sandbox, and we are working on creating, if anybody attended Digital Week, that coffee rooms were a big hit, honestly, same-time coffee rooms, because it gives all our customers and partners, to ask questions openly. So we're hoping to host those next year as well. Keep them going.
Okay. Thank you, Ginni. So
sure.
Yeah.
Sounds good. My pleasure. It was great talking to everybody here today. Thanks for putting this together.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye. Have a great day. Thank you. Bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.